Jose, please tell us, how has that happened tonight?
Good question. If I forget the last 10 minutes of the extra time where we did something to get different results and to go through, in the 90 minutes and in the first half of the extra time was one team that decided to leave everything on the pitch. They left everything there. They left sweat, they left energy, they left blood. In the end of the game, they let even tears of happiness. Very humble, very committed, and I have to praise them. On the other side, my team, I repeat, my team, I am there. That didn't look like was playing an important match. And if for any one of them is not an important match, for me it is. For the respect that I have for my own career and for my own job, every match is an important match for me. And I believe that for every Tottenham fan at home, every match matters. And another attitude is needed. To say that I feel sad is not enough, because what I feel goes much further than sadness. I just left Dinamo dressing room where I went there to praise the guys, and I feel sorry that one team that is not my team won the game based on attitude, based on compromise. So I feel more than sad, and that's it. Football is not just about players that they think they have more quality than others. Football, the basic of football goes beyond that. The basic of football is the attitude, and they beat us on that. Many times I fear my thoughts, my feelings, but I don't blame myself in the sense of I always share them. So before the game I told the players the risks of a bad attitude. I told the players at half-time, even with 0-0, the risk of playing the way we were playing. And it happened because I believe that the players only realized that the game was in risk when they scored the second goal and went to extra time.
Is going to resonate with the Tottenham fans, I know. Big defeat against Arsenal. Now this tonight, Jose. What is, compared to the teams you have managed and coached through your career, what is missing in this group of Tottenham players? Where are the winners?
I don't think you can expect me in front of cameras to go deep as that. I never liked the feeling of some guys in football that say, I won, they lost. I don't like this feeling. For me, is we won, we drew, we lost. So I don't go and run away from that. I'm going to stick with that. I'm disappointed of a difference of attitude between one team and another. And I repeat, so I don't want any doubts about that. I feel sorry that my team, I belong to that team, I feel sorry that my team is the team that didn't bring to the game not just the basics of football, I believe the basics of life, which is to respect our jobs and to give everything.
It's a mighty blow to Tottenham Hotspur as a football club, this, isn't it? And Glenn Hoddle, who, as you know, has got a huge status among the Tottenham support, he said on BT Sport, disastrous and diabolical. Does it hurt you, Jose, to hear that?
You know, Mr. Rodel, of course, is a legend at the club, and every word that he says, positive, sometimes negative, other times, are to be very, very respected. But I don't need Mr. Rodel words to feel myself hurted, to feel myself, as I was saying, more than sad. Sad is not enough. I totally respect, you know, everything that somebody connected or not connected with the club says about us tonight. I think we have to accept. The problem will be if some accept in a positive way, in the sense of feeling hurted and ashamed with the critics. Another story is if you don't feel it, if you don't care, if you don't read, if you don't feel it, and that is a much deeper problem.
Yeah,
I respect every
just to come in on that,
critic
Jose, forgive me,
today.
but taking that point
But I
on
repeat,
board.
I don't need external critics because I feel deeply hurted with what happened with my team.
And taking that on board, Jose, this is the kind of a night, perhaps, where careers change course, and you may have to make decisions about some of your players on the basis of what you've seen tonight. Do you accept that?
Well, I accept that, but we are in a situation where, in this moment, I don't want to go, especially with you. When I say you, I say press, and I say people at home, Tottenham fans and football fans. I don't think it is for me to go in that direction. I don't want to say much more than what I say. In behalf of my team, in spite of maybe some of them, they don't share my feelings and my emotions. I can only apologize to the Tottenham supporters, and I hope that the players, they feel the same way as I feel. In Europa League is not the first time. In Antwerp, I had, of course, not a feeling of the same dimension because it was a group phase and we had a chance to win it and to go through. Today is, of course, live or die, and in this moment we die. But it is a feeling that I had. And some other matches I had the same feeling, but until the last day of the season, we have to try to do our best.
Jose, thank you very much indeed. Safe home. Thank you.
It's a disastrous result for the club. I certainly didn't see it coming, I've got to say. But to be fair to Zagreb, they showed more heart, more determination. In the end, with Orsic's hat-trick, they showed better skills, better technique and ability. And in the end, you've got to say they deserved the win. But Spurs were diabolical tonight, they really were.
Yeah, we're bound to look at it, obviously, from a Tottenham perspective, an English perspective, but Tottenham have contributed to their own downfall, haven't they, tonight, for all of the good play from the opposition?
Yeah, well, they have, because, in the first leg it could have been 3 or 4 that looked more than comfortable. We always knew it'd be slightly different in this game, but you felt like it was coming. Right from the first kick-off, there was no impetus, there was no, they weren't quick in their passing, they weren't dynamic in their closing down, and Zagreb just grew into the game, but Tottenham allowed that. So credit to Zagreb, with all due respect there, they played very, very well, and I have to say, they were the better team.
Yeah. Obviously, when you're playing with a 2-0 lead, it is that balancing act. But they got it wrong, didn't they? They got it wrong before Zagreb got their noses into this match and this tie, and then afterwards they fell apart.
I think mentally they've got it wrong right through the game. I said at half-time, saying, like, well, if Zagreb score, then I'm expecting a reaction from Tottenham. The game would open up, they'd have a nibble, but I didn't expect Zagreb to actually then take control of the game. That was Spurs' opportunity to respond. Make that response as a team, individually. And they went backwards. They went downhill instead of fighting against... Hang on, don't give them any glimmer. They're back. If not, they were just playing at the pace that they wanted to play at. They should have upped the gears and gone through the gears. They didn't. There was not enough ability in the team or anyone on the night that was going to say, I'm going to take responsibility here. I'm going to change this game for us. Everyone was looking at each other, and that can happen. And when it happens, it's a disaster for a team. You're looking at each other and you're saying, you know, you need leadership. And Højbjerg not playing tonight just shows you what they do need. He's had a great season, Højbjerg. Suspended, massive miss, because I think some of the key goal, he would have been in that defensive position. But I think he's one that actually leads them. Right. He's the one that actually is always talking to players and he's demanding. They missed him big time today, they really did.
I mean, you've both worn the shirt with pride. It's been the worst possible week, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, they haven't turned up in 2 games now, and you have to say that. And you know, players have gone missing. You talk about when they went a goal down, we thought we'd see a reaction. You know, the subs came on, and for a little minute there, you thought, you know, they're breathing life into the situation, and then, you know, we saw players hiding. We saw players not tracking back. We saw some simple passes not being made, no creativity. You know, the keeper played well, made a couple of good saves, but having said that, Zagreb were the better side in the game and deserved to go through, and that's you know, disastrous from Tottenham. And you do wonder where their season is going now.
And we're out, I'm afraid, of this season's Europa League, beaten 3-0 on the night and therefore 3-2 on aggregate by Dinamo Zagreb. That didn't look possible, frankly, a week ago at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but it's happened, Glenn and Peter. Obviously, we'll get reaction as soon as we can from Zagreb. There are 3 good goals from a Zagreb point of view. They're nicely worked, beautifully finished in 2 of the cases. Great night for Orsic and his hat-trick, but wow, the defending. Yeah, no, listen, we can pick holes out of Tottenham, but firstly, you've got to congratulate Orsic for 1. I mean, it's unbelievable. What about this for a goal? I mean, listen, the defending is nowhere near it. You know, on the second 2, definitely on the second and third goal, but that, I mean, is unstoppable. What a finish! Here's the second, Glenn. Again, well worked, but Sissoko perhaps on this occasion the most culpable.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect, he's not in the team to pick passes and that, so he's in the team to defend, become that extra defender when you need him. He's let him run from deep, Orsic, and he's had the freedom there. You see Bale, look, that's not good enough. You've got to really look at that. There's no determination. The tackle from Aurier is a schoolboy tackle. He's turned his back on him and flicked it. Look, flicked his back. That is horrendous tackling. Great finish, I've got to say.
It's a beautiful goal. Yeah. Defensively there, you know, Bale stopped running. Aurier stuck out a leg. You know, there was so many opportunities to make a tackle. He's run through them all, and credit to him, it was a great finish, but defensively awful.
So why is that happening? Is that on the coaching pitches? Is that the players themselves not taking responsibility? Is that lack of confidence, tiredness? What, all of those things? What is it?
I come back to Højbjerg. I think you need someone out there that's going to dig people out and do it way before that happens. You know, they had no one there of that leadership. I only saw Dyer at the very end when he had to flick one back for a corner, actually get annoyed, and he started screaming at a few people. There was no leadership there. They had no heart pumping through that team. Everyone can have an off day. Of course you can. Too many have had off days against Arsenal altogether and tonight altogether. But you cannot... You can still actually have a desire. You can still put your foot in. You can still, you know, have a verbal with each other. If I have a go at you, I might just get you to play better. And if you have a go at him and get him playing, then you suddenly lift your team's levels. There was nothing. Everyone's head was down. It was like, someone else do it tonight. I can't do it. If you play like that, you got no chance.
It's that terrible Spursy tag that follows them around like a bad smell. It's another one of those, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you know, I mentioned before the break, you know, you see where's the season going now, and they've got a League Cup final, which is becoming the most important game, and then Jose Mourinho can turn around and say, you know, I've won a trophy, but are Spurs fans going to be happy with the trophy and playing this kind of football? And listen, it's only 2 games. You know,
they're not going to beat Man City playing like that.
Well, exactly. You know, and then it's another nothing season where it feels like they've gone backwards.
Yeah, they do. Exactly. They feel like they're going backwards at the moment, that's not great for manager or players.
No, of course. The last 2 performances, you've got to say they've gone back. They're not treading water. They're actually gone backwards, but. They've got to look at themselves tonight. There wasn't enough heart there. There wasn't enough real desire. When the match, and then when you put yourself under that pressure, then go and perform under that pressure. Then, and they didn't. They got nervous. People were kicking the ball up in the air. They were just doing. There was ridiculous things happening. They just lost. They lost the plot. but they also lost their heart. They lost their desire to do something about it. Sometimes you can get back into a game, not by a silky pass, which we were hoping for and looking for, or a wonderful goal. You get it by pure hard work and someone making a tackle, the ball spins off to someone else, and you get a bit of luck, and that's how you get back into a game. And that's what they were needing tonight, but they didn't deserve it because they didn't put the effort in.
I just thought they approached the game in the wrong way. I know they were 2-0 up, but it felt like they were just going there to sort of not concede.
Yeah.
Whereas I felt, the best players Tottenham have got are attacking players to take it to opposing teams. And I think if they'd have gone for, one, possibly two, it would have just killed them straight away. But they grew in confidence and then they paid the ultimate price.
Yeah.
I've got to say, from that first leg, how dominant they were and how they... There's no way I could see Zagreb actually performing like that anyway. So, to a certain degree, we got caught. We got caught ourselves. Yeah. The difference was we weren't out on the pitch. You had players out there that could do something about it. I couldn't see that from that Zagreb team, Peter. I don't know about yourself, but from what I'd seen in the first leg, this was a game to get beat 3-0, to get beat 3 from a very, very average team. They had Orsic was unbelievable on the night, but other than that, it's an average team. It's no more than that, and that is the real concern, I think, flying back tonight when the players and the management will be thinking we haven't played a very good side here and we've got beat 3-0.
Yeah. Where does this leave Jose? Obviously, it's his players that have gone out and lost this game. He's picked a strong team, in fairness. He's made changes during the game to try and affect it, and no one's really stood up and be counted, but it'll hurt him, won't it? But some Spurs fans have never really caught fire with Mourinho, and this doesn't help.
Well, listen, I speak to Spurs fans a lot. I've got a lot of friends who are Spurs fans, and they're not happy. The last 2 games is a North London derby where they lost with a whimper, really. And going out of Europe tonight, their season's hanging by a thread. Like, when I look at someone like Harry Kane trudging off the pitch there, and I think it's Champions League, he shouldn't even be playing this competition. He's a Champions League player. He's a player that should be there. Talk about Lewandowski, Haaland, Mbappe, Kane. He's up there with those. He's gone out to Dinamo Zagreb today, and that's the worrying thing. It's like, where does that? Where's his head at? Not just the manager, but those players, Son, Kane, players who deserve to be playing at a higher level than the Europa League. And of course, they're loyal to Tottenham, and we all hope they will be. But games like that certainly don't help.
No, and Harry, in fairness to him, has been at Tottenham a long time and has talked more than once about I need to win trophies if I get the chance in my career. And he's 27, 28 this summer. He is at a crossroads.
Of course he is. And I think that's, the club to a certain degree has been at a crossroads this season on the Harry Kane and possibly Son even, on that story because they're running out of time. There's a League Cup final. You can't put all your eggs in one basket on a football match. Yes, you can win that game. Of course, they've already beaten City once this season. But, they're a very good side, probably the best team, them and Bayern Munich, in Europe. So they've got to play every single player was so poor tonight and on Sunday, every single player's got to be 9 out of 10. Now, to produce that at Wembley in a cup final, you just don't switch it on like that.
Yeah.
You just can't do that. So they could still win that trophy, of course, but...
Would that save the season, or would that paper over these cracks?
Well, would it save the season? Yes, it would save the season, because if they don't win it, where's the season going to end up? What's going to be like then? Jose's been brought in to win silverware. Yeah. He's got to a final. Whether the fans like it or they don't like him, they're in a final. And for that day, they're going to support their club. They're going to want to beat City. And if he wins a trophy, for the long term, it might not be the right thing for the club, but he's been brought in. And if he wins the trophy, it's a hard task, but if he does, that will actually say, well, look, you were brought me in, let's go from there. And don't forget, for every Spurs fan out there, if we did win it, that's the first trophy he won for Chelsea, was the League Cup. It didn't just happen, first of all, the Premier League, and then that was a step. You have to start somewhere, and that could be a stepping stone. We're miles away from that at the moment, absolute miles away, but you've got to be optimistic.
Sure, and they'll have to not only defend an awful lot better against Manchester City in that final than they did tonight, also need to take their chances. They did create some chances tonight, both in the 90 minutes and in extra time, Pete. Not loads, and they weren't amazing, but... Yeah,
they did. This was the best period, really, when they made the changes. Bale came on. It was a lovely bit of skill from Gareth Bale, and Jink backwards and forwards, put a lovely ball in, and you back Harry Kane to score that, and And again, Bale there with a snapshot, but it was too little too late. They should have been doing this from the first minute.
Yeah, they should. They should. And that one, wow, it just doesn't quite either fall to Vinicius or Harry Kane.
Yeah. He just panicked a little bit, Vinicius. It did come to him quickly, but then Harry Kane, how many times you've seen him in that position?
Yeah.
He smashes it in that near post. It was a great save again, but it was one of them night. That's the desperation. That's when pressure comes on you. That down there, he's rushed it. There. That one, OK, there's bodies on the line. It's a wonderful, wonderful save. And then the last one, Bow even might have put that in the top corner, but you're under pressure. And they've caused that themselves, gone out and played. They're 2-0 up.
Yeah.
You know, to get beat by that team 3-0, I just couldn't see it coming. But it has happened. It's a hard lesson to learn. But my word, they've got to show a lot of character now for Villa at the weekend.
Yeah.
And to get something going again, to actually give themselves a chance in that League Cup final.
Yeah, I mean, Glenn pointed out the absence of Højbjerg and the absence of leadership, but elsewhere in other teams and in Tottenham at other times, when someone's missing, others fill the void, don't they? They stand up and be counted, whether it's psychologically in terms of leadership, the kind of standards they set on the pitch. Who else but the captain, and glimpses from the captain, is really showing that in a Tottenham shirt?
Yeah, I agree. Højbjerg is a miss, but there's more on that pitch to be able to cope with that. I'll go back to my point again. I still think the best players in Tottenham side are attacking players, so I feel that you need to take the emphasis more to the team you're playing against, and I don't think that happens enough. Defensively, I don't think Tottenham are good enough to sit back and soak up pressure. I think defensively they are found wanting at times, and the best players are going forward, so what they need to do is just attack teams more, and that's just not going to happen with Jose Mourinho, I'm afraid.
I think the question before the game is, how do you think we're going to get through? Do you think an away goal is going to get us through?
Yeah.
Or do you think a clean sheet?
Well, you all thought away goal, didn't you?
Away goal.
Yeah, but the team didn't play like that.
No.
It looked like it was just going to go through the motions and say, look, we're 2-0 up, let's keep a clean sheet and we get through. Instead of saying, well, the away goal just kills the tie off.